View. Alrighty, guys. Here we are. Twilight Struggle, Red Sea, in the Horn of Africa solo. We're gonna try this. This is a learning game. Those of you who know, I've mentioned this several times. I only played Twilight Struggle maybe 2 or 3 times. Somebody tried to teach me. My good friend Tony from Columbus, Tony, a fellow cab member, he loved this Twilight Struggle. He kept trying to get me to play it and understand it. It was just I couldn't figure it out, and so I gave up and just stopped trying. So he tried a few times. I just never could get around to doing it. So, anyways, I thought, well, we'll try this here. I've been reading through the rules and I've gone through the example of play. Doesn't mean we're not going to make a whole bunch of mistakes, but we're going to try. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to win an automatic victory. Booyah! All right, let's do this, they say. Let's do this. All right, so here is our board with, of course, all of our mid-war cards. As you can see, these are all the mid-war, all the late war cards. There are only 2 turns in this game. DEFCON starts at level 4. We'll be playing as the US. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. You can see we start with Ethiopia and some influence in uh, Saudi Arabia. Well, the Soviets start with Yemen. So, I guess we need to get some of our terminology correct for those of you who may have played. So, these ones that are purple are battleground states. So, those are important. The new addition here in this version is these two have this little lightning bolt. These are called flashpoint countries. And depending on the DEFCON state, they will be considered a. Oh, what's the term? What's the term? I don't know. Hang on. Let me look at my term. I'll tell you what the term. It's like crossroads. It's not crossroads. What is it called? It's called. Uh, let's see. It's called a choke point. That's I knew it began with a C. I just couldn't think of it. So choke points. So the choke points is considered anything that the player has influence in that's adjacent to a battleground state. Flashpoints will not be considered a choke point if the DEFCON is 4 or higher. If it's 3 or less, then they will be considered a choke point. Egypt, as you can see, is both part of Africa and also part of the Middle East, as they are. There's also the strategic shipping lanes, and that will adjust your scoring. We do have the space race track. I think that's about it. Pretty sure that's about it. How many cards do we get? That's a good question. I was thinking it was 9, but now I'm thinking it might only be. I think it's 9. I think it's 9. Yeah, pretty sure it's 9 because yeah, 9 cards. All right, so we start with this card. Face up. This does not count as one of our 9s. It is called the Romanian Autonomy card. And then the begins play with the U.S. player. We can use this to get +1 operations value if the player is behind in the victory point track, and +1 victory point to the player processing the card during final scoring. So whoever has this card at the end. So as a U.S. player, I can have it. I can activate it, give it to the other player, and then if he activates it back and forth, it would go. But you can only activate it once per turn. So if I activate it on turn 1, I flip it down. Then we go to turn 2. The other player could use it and then say give it back to me, but then I would have it during final scoring. So that's how that works. That's pretty much. I say that's pretty much it, but who knows? Because this is not. I'm not an expert at Twilight Struggle, as I mentioned. I've only played it like 2 or 3 times, and I didn't understand it back then. But I think this littler version is really the baby version of Twilight Struggle is what I need. So let's go. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. The AI doesn't get 9 cards dealt out to them. No, they get a whole deck of cards. Here's our cards. We got the Africa scoring card right off the bat. We got 2, 3, 4. We got 5 of our 9 cards. 5 of our 9 cards. Wow. We have 1 combined card. We have 2 U.S. cards, and we have an Africa scoring card. Okay. We're going to shuffle up one more time because I think that's going to be a really hard start. We're going to try again because I think we would lose that. But let's just shuffle up and try a little bit better now. All right. Try again. All right. See if we can get a little bit better hand. Let's see. Let's see here. No, we still got all right. We got a little bit better hand. We'll take it. That's fine. We got the Africa scoring of 1, 2, 3, 4 of ours. We have 1 mixed, so it goes for either one, and then we only have 3 of theirs, so that's not bad. Let's go with that and see how we do. All right, so now we have to pick a card out for. The U.S. has 1 more influence in Sudan than the USSR has in Ethiopia. No good. If Ethiopia is USSR controlled, it is not. Use 1 operation point if played in the headline phase. U.S. may also go first in the action round that turn. Ooh, so we could use that to go first. Hey, Blue Tweezers, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? The French connection. Remove all USSR influence in Dijon and Madagascar. That's down here. And that's there. And add 2 U.S. influence in one of those countries. Okay, well, that's not great either. Add sufficient influence in one non-battleground country to equal your opponent's influence. That would only give us 1 influence. None of these are really like super awesome, super great. Strongman is Sudan. Add 1 influence more in Sudan. Yeah, they don't have Ethiopia. It's not USSR controlled. In the operations point, if played in the headline phase, the US may use 1 operations point, and then if played in the headline phase, the US may go first in the action round. We could go first. Let's yeah, let's go that. Let's try that. Let's try that. We'll try the mid-war US aid. We'll try that as our headline card. All right. So I'm just gonna set my cards now. So what to do for the AI is we draw a card and we look to see, is it something they would play. First thing we look is see, is it one of theirs or a split? And this is a split, so yes. So we look at the famine card and it asks us, can this be played as a headline? And you can see here in their little chart, famine, yes, it can be played as a headline, yes. So they will actually play this card as their headline. And we will compare, and since the numbers are equal to 2, the US gets to do theirs first. So we will slide those over a bit. We will do ours. So we're going to add 1 operations point. So let's add an operations point, shall we? We will add it to Kenya. Mine as well. And then because we use this in the headline phase, the US will go first in the action rounds. So instead of the USSR going first, we will get to go first. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I'm going to keep this card out as a reminder. Now the AI will get to do something. Place famine markers in 2 adjacent countries. Immediately make a coup attempt in one of those countries with a famine marker using the operation value of this card. Famine markers add a +1 modifier to coup attempts in that country. Resolve marker after any successful coup attempt. Remove marker, sorry. So it's going to get a famine card. There's 1. Looks like I'm going to need another one. They're going to have a couple of these markers out. There's another one. There we go. All right. So with the AI, we are playing against the... So they want to place their famine in choke point, battleground, and flashpoint countries first. Is Africa scoring in the discard? No, it is not. Choke point, battleground, and flashpoint countries. So they're going to try here. Here. So they're going to place famine marker in Kenya. And they have to place one in an adjacent as well. Immediately make a coup attempt in one of the countries with the famine marker using the operations value of this card. Famine marker adds +1 modifier to the coup attempt in that country. Remove markers after any successful coup attempt. All right, so he's going to try and take over Kenya here. Coup it. So he's going to roll the die. See what he gets here. That is either a 1 or 6. That is a 6. That is really bad for me. That is really bad. That is a 6. Plus 1 is 7. Plus 2 for the card is 9. He got a total of 9. So he's going to, wow. He is going to remove. He's going to remove 1 of my points. And then he's literally going to get 6, 7, 8, 9. He's going to get 7. Wow. Wow. Really? Wow. He's going to put 7 value in there. That's crazy. And that's going to give him control of Kenya. All right. So that was the famine marker. We can get rid of that. When famine marker place famine marker in 2 adjacent countries immediately. Again, he's looking at the choke point, battleground, and flashpoint countries first. That's why he chose this one, because he's only, well, that's not true. We have that one up there. But he couldn't put anything in an adjacent. Let me think about that. Choke point, battleground, and flashpoint countries. Lowest coup result needed to remove U.S. influence. Yeah, so that would break the tie between these two, because this would be, so this is a 4 for Kenya. 2 times 2 is 4. And 1, because we had 1 in there. Hang on. So, yeah, let's make sure we did this right, because that might not be. So, we have a total value. 2, we don't, yeah. So, 4 minus the 9 is 5, and he's going to take 1 of ours out, which makes it 4. So, he's actually, I believe, going to get 4 in there, which actually is going to put him in control of this. I believe I did that right. Again, not an expert, but maybe I did that right. Now, add 1 modifier to coup attempts in that country. Remove marker after a successful. So we remove that. I'm assuming this marker in Ethiopia stays until someone coups it. This goes down, by the way. All right, so that gets discarded. We get to go first. All right, let's go first. Let's do this. I don't like this. He owns the Battleground. That's not good. And he's got famine in Ethiopia. That's not good either. That's brutal. Brutal. Ethiopia. Nothing in Ethiopia. We can't do scoring because we don't. Man, we're not doing very good with scoring. What do we have for his? The USSR randomly draws 2 cards from the U.S. hand. Or 1 card if only 1 card remains. Discard 1 and return any remaining card. If the discarded event is USSR associated, gain 2 victory points. Ugh. Yuck. And 2 USSR influence in Ethiopia. If Ethiopia is USSR controlled, its stability number becomes 3 permanently. Yuck. Midmore F5Es delivered, and we have the world falling over on us. Stop doing that. All right. The USSR may make 1 realignment roll against each country in Africa. This event prevents the RS3 Ogaden War card from being played as an event. Ugh. And then we have Africa. Sometime we're going to have to play Africa scoring. So we need to do something about this yuckiness in Africa. All right. Oh, you know, there's actually cheat sheets on the side here now. Coup attempt. Coup attempt. All right, so we roll the die, and we minus the stability number. which was 2, times 2 is 4. So we take his die roll, which was 6. We subtract that number, which is 4, which is 2. We add 1 for the famine, makes it 3. Oh yeah, the ops value of the card, which is 2, plus his die roll is 6, which is 8, plus 1 was 9, minus the value, which was 2, times 2 is 4, so 9 minus 4 is 5. Then we removed 1 and added 4 his. So I'm pretty sure we did that right. Pretty sure we did that right. Yay, we did something right. Unfortunately, we got nothing. We got freaking nothing good. We got nothing good. Our whole hand is just terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. We have a 2, a 2, a 1, a 1, a 1. And then all of his, we have big values. Big values for his. We have the Africa scoring card. We need to... Maybe we try a realignment roll. Is that what we're going to try? A realignment roll? Try and knock down his... Alright. Oh, add sufficient influence in one non-battleground country to equal your opponent's influence. Oh, you know what? We'll play this. We'll actually play this card, which is actually pretty good. Separatists. Let's bring it up so you guys can see what it is. It's a 2-cost mid-war card. Add sufficient influence in one non-battleground country to equal your opponent's influence. Well, our opponent's influence is 4. We could add influence. One non-battleground country. Well, I'm thinking, let's see. Can't put it there because it's a battleground country. We have a 4. We're gonna need a 4. We need some more. We're gonna need some more. So since he's got a really powerful, here we go. Since he's got a really powerful one, we'll take a really powerful. So adds sufficient influence. So I want to check one rule in the rule book about adding influence because I want to double check something on adding. All right, placing influence. Influence must be added to or placed adjacent to friendly markers that were in place at the start of the player exception. Markers placed when required by an event are not subject to this restriction. Markers placed when required by an event are not subject to this restriction. So, when placing influence in country, influence may be added to or placed adjacent to friendly markers that were in place at the start of the player's action round. Exception: markers placed when required by an event are not subject to this restriction. So it just says, it says, add sufficient influence in one non-battleground country to equal your opponent's influence. So, because we're activating the event, I don't believe we need. So we're going to put 4 in strategic sea lanes, and that is going to give us control of that area because we have 4 and he has none. Boom, done. We're going to make it happen. Steven Reynolds, this is probably the next game I'm going to set up and play. Currently playing Frostpunk, says Steven. Nice. Well, you let me know if you think we're doing anything right or wrong. I don't know. We're just giving the world here. So, AI. Let's see what the AI is to go. It's the AI's action round number 1. Let's see what he does. And yes, we got to go first because of the U.S. aid. All right. So he is going to play this for the 3 ops. I think is what the AI does. He's going to play it for the 3 ops. You have no idea, haven't read the rules yet. Okay. No problem. So I think the solo player, let's see let's just double check here. All right. It's not too complex. Okay. He follows the rules, blah blah blah. Alright, so action round. Perform your action rounds normally, but perform solo opponent action rounds. Overview. The opponent uses the action round priorities on the opponent's player aid. Yada yada yada. Procedure for all these steps. First, reveal the top card and resolve it as follows. If the additional card is trying to do, if your card is a scoring card, if the revealed event is not associated with the solo player's superpower, place it in the discard pile. Shuffle back. If the revealed card is if the revealed event is not associated with the solo opponent's superpower, place it in the discard pile. Do not reveal a replacement card. Next, starting with the top of the solo opponent's action round priority, check each condition from left to right. Okay, so we revealed. Where's the card we revealed? This one right here, which would have been great for us. It's a nice 3-pointer one. So we just put this in the discard pile, and he gets 3 ops. So we're going to use his ops based upon the... We start here, and we go left to right, and you look to see which condition applies first. USSR does not control a flashpoint country, or at least 3 countries in Africa. So that is true. He only owns 1. So we will use this column. So now we're going to go down. Removes U.S. control of flashpoint country or changes control of sufficient countries to prevent U.S. automatic victory. So here is automatic victory. If you have Ethiopia, you control Ethiopia, and you control Somalia, and controls more African countries, and the Africa card is played, you immediately win. So Africa, Ethiopia, and Somalia, very important. All right, so remove U.S. control of flashpoint country, or changes control of, so that is our flashpoint country. So he's going to want to try to remove. So he's got, what has he got? 3 ops. So he's going to put 3 ops in there, huh? And that is going to give him control of Ethiopia. It's going to put 3 ops in there, which is 2 more than us. And that is enough to control. So he actually, he doesn't control Somalia. If he controlled Somalia now, he would have a possibility of an automatic victory. I believe, again, I think that's what he would do. But I could be completely wrong. If you do something wrong, make sure it's in your favor. Yeah, I agree. But we don't want to play Africa scoring because we'll just get killed there. So we need to. We got 3 of our cards and 3 of their cards, but their cards are 3-2-2. We have 2-1-1. Does that sound fair to you? No. Me neither. Ooh, now we can play these cards though because uh, we now have USSR controls Ethiopia. If Ethiopia's USSR controlled, it is gain a victory point and add one influence in Ethiopia and adjust and one adjacent country. So we will activate this special card. Is Ethiopia US controlled? Yes, it is. We gain a victory point, so we are up to 1-0. Boom, boom. And add one influence in Ethiopia, which will make us a 2. And I still think he owns control of this. But we also get to add one in an adjacent country as well. We're going to put it in Kenya. 3-2, which means he's one higher than us, and it only takes one to have control. That's kind of sad, but I think he still has control of that. All right, let's see what the AI does now to us. Oh, he draws another one of our cards. Look at this. Why didn't we get these cards? Good Lord. All right, he's going to try this little thing again. Does USSR have control? Does not control a flashpoint country or at least 3 countries in Africa? Correct. Removes control of a flashpoint country. We don't own a flashpoint country. He would coup if a 4 result would remove all U.S. influence from a flashpoint country. No. There is a U.S. controlled flashpoint country. No. So he's going to place influence. Yes. He's going to place influence. Where is he going to place that influence? You might want to know. In or adjacent to Africa. No USSR influence in. No, that's not true. Spaces without USSR control. There's a lot of those. Flashpoint, he already owns that. Battleground, he already owns that. Least operation value needed to add USSR control. So I guess you will that was another 3-point value one too. 3, and I'm probably doing this all wrong, but who knows? The only way to try is to learn. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and that's going to give him control of Somalia and Ethiopia. And so now, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to play this card sooner or later, right? Africa scoring. You cannot. You have to play it sometime. You have to play it sometime. We can't play it now or it's an automatic loss, so we can't play it now. We have to try and take Ethiopia back. Huh. It doesn't own anything there or there, so I could add a bunch of influence here based upon his how much influence he has here. But that doesn't prevent the auto win for him. Remove all USSR influence in. Yeah, no. Huh. Ugh. Wow. All right, I'm gonna play this card for the ops, even though it's his card. So USSR randomly draws 2 cards from my hand. 1 card or only 1 card remains. Discard 1 and return any other card. So he's going to draw 2 cards. Hey Braun, what's going on? I'm shuffling my hand. I have 5 cards. 2 of them are US, 2 are Soviet, and 1 is a scoring card. So he's got a 50-50 shot of getting some good cards out of my hands. But let's see what we can get here. I need some operation points here. Alright, so he's going to draw 2 cards. Draw this one and this one. Randomly draws 2 cards from the US hand. Okay, he draws one of his cards. And he draws one of my cards. Discard 1 and return any remaining cards. If the discarded event is USSR, gains 2 victory points. He would discard this. Sure, for 2 victory points. It's going to put him at 1. He'll give me back this. Okay, great. So I get the 2 operations points. So we'll actually make that a 4 and take over Ethiopia. Yay! Actually, no, we won't. Hang on a second. What I think I'm going to do is we're going to try a coup. Maybe. Do we want to? Yeah, we're going to try a coup. We're going to try a coup. We want to try a coup. I think we can. Can we try a coup? Can we try a coup? I don't think there's any restriction. We can still have influence there, right? To coup. Right? I think. Let's just double check, right? Let's look if we can coup. Coup. A coup represents operations short of full-scale war to change the composition of a target country's government. To attempt a coup, you need not have any influence in the target country or an adjacent country. However, your opponent must have influence marker. Roll a die and add the operations points to the card. Yes. Okay, so he should have actually went up 2 on the military track when he couped way earlier. We're going to go up 2 points here. As we're going to try coup. So it is 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus the famine is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. So I'm going to remove all 3 of his influence. Boom. Yes. There we go. We now own Ethiopia. Get out of here, we say. Get that famine marker out of here. I think that's right. Could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Here we go. AI, right? Yes, because that was our card. AI, what are you going to do? We have to try and get this Africa scoring card out sometime today. All right. So it's a split card. So on a split or something that he can do, he actually starts like a line of cards that he could play, I believe, right? He starts like a added to the card line. Yes. When a condition in the specific column or row is met, perform the instructions. Okay, yeah. So we start there. Start building his little chain of cards. And now we look and see. The USSR does not control a flashpoint country or at least 3 countries in Africa. And Africa scoring is not in the discard list. Okay. Remove US control of flashpoint country, yes. Oh, this sort of went down, right? Because we activated that, right? So he can't, so he's going to have to, he cannot do a coup. There's US control of flashpoint country with at least +2 net realignment modifier. There's not a +2 modifier for him and realignments. So he will try and place influence again. And place influence in or adjacent to Africa. Yeah, I think he will place it up here, which is going to neutralize. His first priority is Battleground. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It would be inter adjacent Africa. Spaces without control. Spaces without control, actually. Which was, yeah, he didn't have any control there. And the first priority for that is Flashpoint Country. So, yeah. So I think he would go there first. So that's going to neutralize me in Ethiopia. I think. And now we're... He's just going to keep hammering Africa until we spend this card. He's just going to keep hammering Africa. No matter what we do, we're going to get outplayed in Africa. All right, we're going to play this card for the event. We're going to place 3 in Sudan. We can add 1 influence more in Sudan than the USSR has in Ethiopia. So he has 2, so we can add 3 there, which means we will own that place. We're running out of things to do here. Let's see what the AI does. He's going to put that there, and once again, boom, boom, boom. He's going to try and take over a place he doesn't have control. So it's either going to be there or here. This is number 1 priority, interadjacent to Africa. Spaces without control. He doesn't control this one. He doesn't control this one. Or he could actually do this one. Flashpoint, no. Battleground, no. Least operation value needed to add control. This would be 2. This would be 2. This would be... We'd have to add a whole bunch there. I think he would either go here or here. We're just going to randomize it. We'll go even up here. Even. So it'll be deboot. So he actually takes control of that. Which is... I'm just saying it's kind of bad. Because now he owns a battleground country. And we're gonna have to play this as a space race card. So let's roll the die. We need at least the 2 ups, which it was. We roll 1 to 4. Two. That is a 1 to 4. So we move up. I think that's how that works. Oh, the AI automatically moves up, I think, at the start of each turn, they move up one on the space track, I believe. That's what we have to spend a card to do that. He doesn't. Cheater. This one will go there because that's his card. I don't know. This is gonna get ugly, I think. We're still here because we haven't played the card yet until next turn. So he's gonna try to place influence again, and now I think he's gonna place the same thing down here. So we own one non-battleground. He owns two non-battleground, three non-battlegrounds. He owns the battleground. Wow. So we have to play this. There's no and if or buts about it. So we have presence. We have the strategic sea lanes as well. Strategic sea lanes, I think, will double our score for victory points. All right, so let's look at the definitions of these again, because why not? This is the rule book. Yes, okay. Probably, if you're a Twilight Struggle guy, this is probably all like, yeah, this is so easy. But if you don't play Twilight Struggle, this is probably one of these games you're like, oh my god, this is not. All right, presence. A superpower has presence in a region if it controls at least one country in the region. Yes, we both have presence. Domination. A superpower achieves domination in a region if it controls more non-battleground countries and battleground countries than his opponents. So it controls the battleground country and more non-battleground countries. So he is dominating me. And then control. A superpower is control of a region if it controls more countries in a region than his opponent and controls all the battleground countries of a region. Players can earn additional points by strategic sea lanes and +1 victory point. All right, so does he control? A superpower always control a region if it controls more countries in a region than its opponent and controls all of the battleground countries. There's 2 battleground countries, so he doesn't own Egypt, so he cannot control it. So I believe he's dominating, but we have strategic lanes are scored along with scoring cards and can have a major impact on the resolution of the scoring card. Control of the strategic sea lanes is you must have right. Okay. Okay. If you have doubles the points they receive when resolving a scoring card. So I have presence, which is 1, doubled is 2. He has domination, which is 3. So 3 versus 2. So he's going to score a single victory point, which I thought, wow, that was actually pretty good. Because I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that. Thank God for that. I think we did that right. And then, we're all the way at turn 7 here. Because I only have 1 card left. And now the AI, what is it going to do? It will discard this for 2 operations. Now, because we played the scoring, we can ignore that. US has choke point influence. So the choke points would be anything in adjacent to a battleground. DEFCON is 3, and there are isolated U.S. influence in Battleground, or yes, so up here, DEFCON is 3 or lower, and there is isolated U.S. influence in Battleground or Flashpoint countries. Remove all influence from that country, or would Coup there with at least 2 operations? No, we cannot do that, because the DEFCON is too low. Realign. If there's a battle group or flashpoint country with isolated U.S. influence and at least +2 net, you would not get a +2. You get a +1 for having any adjacent. He only has 1 adjacent, so All right, so he plays the leftmost event in the card line that removes all influence from that country, or would Coup there. Play leftmost event in card line. Skip this row if operations granted by event. Remove all influence from the country, or would Coup. What is this leftmost card? Is the Indian Ocean Zone of Peace. Score 2 victory points. All countries are treated as battleground countries for the purposes of coup attempts for the remainder of the turn. Wow. Okay. Well, there won't be any more coups, because if you coup anymore, it'll automatically lose the game. So nobody's gonna. USSR military operations is less than the DEFCON. Nope, they're a 2, and that is a 2 as well. Okay. So he's going to play the first playable event in the card line. I think is what he's going to end up doing in the long run as we go through these. Boom, boom, boom. He cannot do any of these. So we'll go to the no other conditions, which means he'll play the first event, which unfortunately for us is actually going to score him 2 more victory points. And then all countries are treated as battleground countries, so we'll keep this one out for the rest of the game. But that's the end of the round. And it's actually the end of the round, so it doesn't matter. We can put these away. Put those away. Now we take the final late war cards. We shuffle those in to the early war cards. What is going on? Cutting edge solo play. Nice. You'll be using Red Sea to solo the original Twilight Struggle. I hear something is possible. Yes, you can. Well, we'll have to see about that. Let's have to figure out what we're doing wrong first, but all in all, I think we're doing okay. I think we probably made some mistakes somewhere along the lines. I just can't imagine that we wouldn't. And definitely sleeve your cards, because then they shuffle a hell of a lot better. We can get those cards shuffled in pretty easily. Now, I think, I hope we can keep this card, and I think we shuffle up to 9 cards. On to turn number 2. This raises 1 stature. He's up 4-0. He gets up to 10. We automatically lose. He goes up 1 on the space track automatically. I think that's all the stuff. Let's go on. Here we go. Phoenix Knight. Hope everything is going well. I just wrapped shooting today's video, but Elder Tour is always a beast of a game. It is. It is a beast of a game for sure. Love it though. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need a headline. Let's see how we did. We got Middle East scoring. Great. 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 We have 4 his, 4 of ours, and 1 Middle East scoring card. Actually, maybe we should play that right off the bat. What card do we want to play? One coup attempt using this card's operation value. This coup attempt is not restricted by and has no effect on the def contract. Well, that's nice. Can try a coup over here in Somalia. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's try that. All right, let's see what the AI's got. AI. He won't play our card. Won't play our card. Wow, that's 3 of our cards in a row. Why don't we get those cards? God bless it. 4 in a row. There we go. Late war. Oh, Io is not a headline available card. You can see again on the play as headline. Yes or no? Io says no. Do not play that as a. So that one goes away. That's an R card. Water Wars. Yes, he can play this. So he will play that. So we will play this. So, make 1 coup attempt. We're going to make it in Somalia. This coup attempt is not restricted by and has no effect on the def contract. So, Somalia. Come on now. It's a 3 plus. 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2, so he's going to lose 2 there. But he will retain the values. Where's a 2? I need a 2. Here's a 2. He's going to keep control of it. That's a bummer. Oh well. And if your opponent controls Egypt and Ethiopia, remove all of their influence from whatever countries has more, if tied, phasing player chooses. If your opponent controls Egypt and Ethiopia, remove, we do not. So, I'm assuming, actually, will he use this card? I'm thinking he wouldn't actually play this card because we don't own both of those. Let's see if. Oh, here's one of his cards. Presidential Directive 30. USSR may add 1 influence anywhere and may also take an 8th action round this turn. Oh wow, lovely. Just lovely. Huh. Just lovely. Sure. Just give him more actions. Why don't we just, let me make sure a presidential directive is available here. Presidential Directive 30. Yes, it is. Plays the headline, yes. So he will do that. All right. You can add 1 influence anywhere. Where would he like to add his influence? Interadjacent to Africa. Spaces without their control. I guess that would be up here then. All right. And then he gets to take an 8th action round this turn. Isn't that lovely? Okay. He actually gets to go first in the action round. Let's see what he does. He is going to continue his. All right. So, does USSR have control? Not control to do, and Africa scoring is not in. No. US has choke point influence. Uh. Let's just double check the rule on that choke point stuff again. Let's make sure we understand what a choke point is, because oh, it's not here. It's in here. Sorry, it's in here. I sound like I did towards the end of my video. Choke point: a country adjacent to a battleground country where you have no influence. A country adjacent to a battleground country where you have no influence. DEFCON is 4 or greater. Flashpoint countries don't count as checkpoints. When DEFCON is 3 or less, and Africa scoring is not in the discard pile, a flashpoint country may be considered a checkpoint. So, a country adjacent to a battleground country where you have no influence. So, adjacent to a battleground, these are battleground, that's a battleground. So, what was his priority here? What is he doing? I can't remember. Right, we were looking on this. U.S. has choke point influence. Does they have next? Where no, because both people have influence there. Yeah, no. DEFCON is 3, and there is isolated U.S. influence in battleground or flashpoint countries. DEFCON is 3. The DEFCON is 3. And there is isolated U.S. influence in battleground. So that would be this one here. So they would play leftmost event in card line that removes all influence from that country or would coup there with at least 2 operations. So it looks to me like they're going to play this card and try to coup in Saudi Arabia. Looks like they're going to try and coup in Saudi Arabia. So that is a 2 card. Plus 2 is 4. This is actually 6, so they didn't coup. Get out of here. Get out of here, we say. Jerks. Jerks. This is Phoenix. I sound like Steven Reynolds. I suddenly got into Arkham Horror Living Card Game and got the updated core and some of the campaigns. Watched some of your videos. Great, great. Yeah, check out Phoenix 90. Does a great job with his living card game, Arkham Horror. If we play this now, I think we might try to play this now. Wait a minute. Do we want to play this now? No, we don't want to play this now. Damn it. Not yet. Because we don't own. We want to get some more influence, so we own Saudi Arabia. So what can we do here? Ooh, that would be awesome. We are going to play this for the ops. We're going to go up to 3 plus 1 is 4. We're going to take control of Saudi Arabia. I'm going to take control of Saudi Arabia. Let's see what they have to say about that. So we go on to their ops round 2. And this goes towards the end of their line there. This should go down to DEFCON 2 because they tried to coup us. US says, and they go up 2 points because it was a DEFCON of 2 that they tried. Okay. Is there military operations less than the DEFCON in action round? No. It's not action round 6, 7, or 8, so it doesn't matter. They're going to play the first available. It looks like they're going to play the first available event. If Ethiopia is USSR controlled, it is not. Wait a minute. No, it's not. +2 victory points. Otherwise, add 1 USSR influence and remove all USS influence in Ethiopia. Ooh, that's brutal. So they remove ours, add 1. They're going to go up to 3. And that's bad news because now, again, they own Ethiopia and Somalia, but we've already played the Africa scoring card, so we don't have to worry about that nonsense. But that's... And then this card allows the event of the Magnisu Hali Metorium card. So that was a nice card. Look at they just have influence everywhere. But more importantly, we have the Middle East scoring card. Do we want... Alright, we're going to play this one. We're going to remove all USSR influence in Donbass or Madagascar and add 2 US influence to one of those countries. Remove all USSR influence in Donbass or Madagascar and add to us. So we're going to remove theirs, add ours. 2, boom, and we're going to own Djibouti. There you go. Boom. What are you going to do? Add that. And he's going to probably just play these cards because nothing else has changed on the board. If the USSR controls South Yemen, which is there, add 1 USSR influence in Oman. Over there. So they will add 1 over there. And 1 other country in the Middle East. So they like to add it where they don't have any influence, so they will add it there. Our turn. We got 4 of their cards we need to worry about. This is a game loser right here. Because when we play this card, the AI can activate the event, but since we're the phasing player, the DEFCON will be lowered by 1. Since we're the phasing player, we get credited for starting the war and lose. Remove all U.S. influence from 1 country in Africa. Great. USSR may play this card during the headline phase in order to cancel the U.S. headline event. And make 2 realignment rolls in the Middle East with a modifier +1. Well, shoot. I wish I would have played this card earlier now. Because now he's got control of these 2 countries. Damn it. I think we got to score it when we can. We have presence. They have presence. We get our presence doubled because we have the sea lanes. So presence is 3, doubled is 6. They only have 3. They don't have domination because they don't have any battleground areas. They don't have control because they don't have any battleground areas. All they have is the non-battleground areas. So we get, actually, we're going to get 3 victory points out of this mess. I believe we're going to get 3 victory points out of this mess. +1 per controlled battleground country and region. So maybe we get 4. We get presence because we own. Let's just double check presence again. Let me make sure. Presence. It's in the back of the book. Why don't I want to have this on the back? I don't know. Where the frick is it? Presence. A superpower is present in a region if it controls at least one country in that region. We control Saudi Arabia. He controls Yemen. South Yemen, actually. So we have presence. They have presence. But we get +1 per controlled battleground country. So 3 doubled because of the strategic lanes is 6 +1 is 7. They have 1. So the difference is they have 3. So 7 minus 3 is 4. They had 4 victory points. So take it down to 0 and like it. Back to neutral. Oh, yeah. All right. That worked out well. But look, we got nothing but bad cards left. That's not good. That's probably not going to play well. Oh, he's got another card. Wow. Let's see what his event is. Remove 1 U.S. influence from Madagascar. We don't own it. And add sufficient USR influence for control. They already have control of it. They don't play a card if it doesn't change the board. That wouldn't change the board, so we'll go on to the next one. Add 1 USSR influence to strategic sea lanes for every Middle East country without US influence. That is 3. So they're going to add 1 USR influence. So they're going to get 3 in there. We are not going to have control of this anymore because we need to have 3 more than they do. We don't have that. Remove all U.S. influence from one. We're going to play for the ops. He's going to remove this, which means he's going to take control of that area. We get 3 operation points. Oop, I did the wrong thing. This should go over here to the strategic sea lane. Sorry, my bad. So we get 3 operation points. 3 operation points. See, if we were smart, we would have went here and then taken away his presence there, and then we would have really crushed him. Where do we want to place this? I think we're going to go back here, Ethiopia. We're going to make that neutral again. All right, so what are you doing? Nothing good. All right, let's just double check our hierarchy again here. Plan to start Edge of Earth after the core game. I really like the new model where you give you everything for the campaign in one shot. It makes it a lot easier than tracking down the individual Mythos packs. Yes, I plan to start Edge of Earth after the core. Nice. All right, USSR does not control a flashpoint country, or at least 3 countries in Africa, and Africa scoring is not. No. US has choke point influence. No. DEFCON is 3. No. US is military. No. So again, it's going to be play first playable event card. That one doesn't do anything, so ignore it. We move on to the next one. USSR draw a coup card and then discards 2 cards. I think the AI technically ignores all draw cards, so we're gonna just ignore that. USSR may relocate up to 3 influence from one country to another country, no more than 2 influence per country. Oh God! So now we're gonna try to figure out which country he's gonna try and spaces without control. He's going to take three up to 3 influence from one country. So he's going to remove influence. Countries with isolated U.S. influence. Multitasking, playing Red Sea, and talking about Arkham Horror. Yeah, that's pretty much. All right. So USSR may relocate up to 3 influence, one from one country, and then can add up to 2. Well, the most. He's gonna. Oh, he goes up 1 on the space track again, right? This is a tough one because it doesn't have a column. It has column for removing influence, but that's removing U.S. influence, not removing his own influence. Not removing his own influence. We're just going to remove those 2, and we're going to place him. He is going to try and take over this flashpoint country again, which he will by adding those there. Boom, done. Sure, it doesn't really matter. Sure, we'll play that for 4 ops. We're gonna, oops. I'm gonna take over Somalia. Done. What are you gonna do? He's gonna, again, he would play the first event, but the first event doesn't actually do anything because we don't have any influence in Madagascar. So he ignores any event that doesn't have any effect. So he'll play the next event, which happens to be the one we just drew. All operations card played by the USR for the remainder of this turn receive +1 their operation value to a maximum of 3 operation value per card. Alright, so he's going to get +1. And we have 2 more cards we need to play. So, Presidential elections. The USR player may play this card during the headline phase in order to cancel the US headline. So, yeah, it doesn't have any effect. So, I'll be more than happy to put this here and we can share South Yemen. Why don't we do that for a little while? Sure, why not? He will play another. He's drawn like 6 of his cards in a row. That is nice. USSR adds 2 military to its military operations. So he's up to 4. We're still at 0, so we're going to lose points for that. And the US subtracts 2. If the US holds the Romanian autonomy card, the USSR claims it. Wow, my God. He's going to claim our card. 2, which is another victory point at the end of the game. I think he's going to win now. Because he just, we're going to lose 2 victory points because the DEFCON is 2. We don't have any, and we can't do any coups. We can't do any coups. Can we do realignment rules? We got 1 card left. We're going to have to play this one because if we play this one to grade the DEFCON level by a point, he will do that and it will spell the end of us. So we have to keep this card. Make 2 realignment rules in the Middle East with an additional +1. He will try Saudi Arabia. Ooh, is that a 6? That is a 6. So he's got 6, we got 6, and nothing there. I guess he'll try Saudi Arabia again. Why not? +1, so we're going to get down to a 3. I think that's all that happens. Whichever's higher. Oh, actually, he gets... There's modifiers, right. You get a +1 for the person that owns the area. And then you get a +1 for each... I can't read it. What does it say? Give it to me. For each adjacent controlled country. Oh, so no one has any controlled countries adjacent. So that was good. Then we get 2 operations. We get 2 operation points. We might as well spend those 2 operation points. We actually made a little bit of a comeback, I think. Look at us go. Made a little bit of a comeback. We were getting smoked there for a long time. We're going to put 2 here. And are we going to put 2 there? No. Let's put 2 down here. We'll take Madagascar. So now he'll actually be able to play his card. That's funny. He'll go and he'll get 4 operation points. Those operation points will be, let's see, what is he going to do with them? Actually, he'll play the first event first before he'll play operation points. So he's going to remove 1 U.S. influence from Madagascar. So, lucky him. And add sufficient USR influence for control. So, he needs 2. We already have 2 in there. It means he needs to have 4 in there. He will take over Madagascar with 4. Nice. Wish I had events like that. Now he gets to play... He gets to play an extra 1 card this round. He gets to play an 8th round. And he's going to remove a total of 2 U.S. influence from the Middle East. He will remove these. Make it a 1. So we don't have control of Saudi Arabia anymore. All right, that is the game. You got an extra turn because of the presidential directive. We don't get that extra turn. That is it. Final scoring. Let's see what the final scoring says. Final scoring. And, you know, depending on how bad we messed up everything, I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, at the end, both regions are scored. At the end of turn 2, both regions are scored. Active victory points to the current score. Egypt is scored in both the Middle East and Africa. Score both regions before determining who has the most points and is victorious. Reaching 10 victory points does not result in an automatic victory. Is scored at the end of the turn. If the victory point marker is 0, the game ends in a draw, which I don't think we're going to do that. So I think he's going to have control because he owns We have presence. We have presence. Domination. He owns a battleground. Domination. And we no longer have the strategic sea lanes. So he's going to have domination. Will he have control? He doesn't have control because he doesn't own that, which is both. You need Egypt to get domination, control, I think. So he's going to have domination. We're going to have presence. So it's 3 versus 1, so he's going to gain 2 victory points. I think the AA is going to take it because none of us has presence or anything in the Middle East. Nobody scores anything because nobody owns any of the regions. So he's going to win. He gets a victory point, progressing to the player possessing a card during the final scoring because he stole this from us right at the end. He's getting a victory point. So depending on how bad we did with the rules and what we might have done, the AI won by 3 points. The AI won by 3 points. Actually, no, that's not true. He gets 2 victory points for being on this track. We didn't go up there, so we don't get anything. First player gets 2, second player gets 1 victory points. So, I think he won 5-0. Well, 5 points up. He won 5 points up. I think that's how that would have worked. I think. There's a look. We'll wait and see from everyone about how badly we played and how many rules we got wrong, and then we'll try it again once we figure out how many things we did right, how many things we did wrong. I think we did okay with the rules. It's not super complex, but not being a Twilight Struggle expert really hurts. Really hurts because if you are a Twilight Struggle expert, you could probably everything in this game is probably pretty easy to pick up. I need to find there it is. So that is a look at Twilight Struggle Red Sea. Again, I am not a Twilight Struggle player. I barely ever played it, even though friends of mine constantly tried to get me to play it. It's not something that's really intrigued me. This intrigued me because of the solo mode. So if you can use this solo mode for Twilight Struggle, then maybe I'll get into Twilight Struggle. But there you go. That is a look at Twilight Struggle Red Sea. Thanks for watching, Stephen Reynolds and Phoenix Knight. Appreciate you guys coming by and having your little conversation. Miles and Braun and Blue Tweezers, everyone. Hopefully we didn't mess it up too bad for you guys. Hopefully, like I said, this is a learning game. We might have messed up really bad. We might have done okay. I think we did okay. I still think we probably messed up a few things here and there, but I think in the long run, we did okay for our first playthrough. This is one of these games that's going to take you 2 or 3, maybe more turns to try out. So I think what I want to try and do is maybe get a multiplayer game of this going, because that way you can see what your opponent's doing and see how they're interacting with stuff. And then just bolting on this solo AI stuff is not that complex once you understand the main concept. I'm learning the game and learning the solo at the same time. It makes it a little bit more complex than if it was just if you're a Twilight Struggle expert. So good news is it's very easy to set up. It is very easy. You put out 4 things, you shuffle the cards, you're ready to go. It's very easy to set up. Very easy to set up. Very, like I said, it's not that complex to play either. It's just a matter of understanding everything to get over that hump. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully this is a learning game. Hopefully we did okay. And we got another game coming up here in a little bit. Still working on my 30 games in 30 days, 31 games in 30 days. Today is the 29th. We got a bunch of games to catch up today, so we got to do it. This is game number 26. Is this game 26? Let me look at my list here. Games played. I think this is 26. It is 26. So our 26, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. We got 5 games to play. We got 2.5 days to do it. So we got to get busy. We'll see everybody later. Take care. Bye.